I was going to call this episode How Holidays Keep Me Sane by Phil Jones, but I think it's probably more appropriate if we call it How Holidays Help Me Build the Biz.
Yeah, because they don't keep me sane. So
it should be How Holidays Keep Me Poor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions about why you go on so many holidays and how you do it.
Yeah, and this podcast topic was not my choice. So whether there are some underlying digs that are going to come or whether it's genuinely for content, we'll soon find out. But there is some a common thread throughout the 250 odd podcast episodes that we've recorded. Probably each one holds at least 3 comments about the amount of holidays we go on. So it is infamous. But I think on the sly, I should have measured this the last couple of years. Sam has caught up, if not overtaken.
Oh no, I think I do. I think I have as much time off as you do.
But mine are more
obvious.
Like to the US.
Yours are 2 weeks to Disney.
Whereas yours like 2 days in a camper van.
Yeah, exactly. Which is how I like it. So it works out. And there's no resentment for me whatsoever, especially as you go on holiday with my lovely daughter and my lovely grandchildren.
Sometimes.
So you always go on holiday with my daughter.
Yes.
Or almost always. And sometimes I have my lovely grandchildren. And I think that when we built the business, one of your primary motivators was to go on holiday more.
I don't think it was.
Well, you had it written down on your list, didn't you, about Disney?
Yeah, but that was a one-off. I think somewhere along the line, as work got busier and harder and more stressful, and also income rose fairly quickly, especially sort of 2019, 2020. And I just fell into a routine and habit of going away every sort of 6 to 8, 10 weeks. And that just has continued.
It's part of your lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what holidays do you go on in a typical year? Give us a typical rundown.
Well, what we've done this year, what we've got booked. So in January, we went to the Caribbean for 2 weeks. In March, we went to Abu Dhabi. Was it March or was it April? Usually we go in March or April. We went to Abu Dhabi for 4 nights or 5 nights.
Just the two of you?
Just the two of us. We're going away in May for 2 weeks. And then...
the cruise around the Med?
Yep. And then we've got, at the end of July, we're going... I don't know where we're going.
We're going for a few days to Newport in Cambridgeshire.
Right.
Not the Newport in Wales for
how
family
long's
get-together. It's only like 3-4 nights.
During the week?
Yes. It's like a Monday to Thursday or something. We've got a big house with a pool where we're going to take the extended family as well, so we can all get together. We try and do that once a year.
Yeah, so in my head, I don't actually class those trips as holidays.
I realise that.
I class those as working, as doing family duty.
Which they pretty much are.
It's like prison time. It's not quite like prison time, but...
but then you go...
and then we go
straight away.
And we drive straight from there to Manchester Airport, where we go
Leaving me with the kids.
Yeah, we leave the kids in Newport, and we go to the US for 5 nights, I think.
To see the Fray on tour?
Yeah, we go to Philadelphia and New York. And then we're back home for a week, I think. And then we go for 2 weeks.
Where are you going then?
A Mediterranean cruise again.
I think you have actually beaten me this year. No,
yeah.
No.
Well, yeah.
You say it all out loud.
In lieu of, yeah. Yeah. And then in October we've got a couple of weeks in Disney World, and then we've got Centre Parks, which I also don't count as a holiday for some reason.
Because you don't want to go.
When I'm counting up my holidays, no, I do want to go. Otherwise, I wouldn't go. It's just we've been so many times. The kids love it, and
that is kind of the point.
It's good for the first day or two, and then when you're getting charged like 20 quid a pint, and it wears on you a bit. But so that's it this year.
So there's some things that we always do, and some things that you always do that have now become sort of the backbone to all the holidays, and then you've got all the additional holidays on top of it. So it used to be when you met Molly that I would pay for our family holidays every year, and we'd maybe go on like a big one every 2 years.
Yeah,
and
which
then,
is due in April, by the way.
Okay. This April?
No, next April.
Yeah, next April. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Just so you know.
I don't worry, I know.
Okay, good.
I've got to do some saving for it.
Yeah, because when we booked a Disney World trip last night, we had to make sure it was in the middle between us returning from the Caribbean and your April trip. See, we do plan.
And then we've always been to Centre Parks. I've been going there since the kids were little, so it's really nice to take the grandkids through and give them the same memories. And even though it's an absolute flipping rip-off, this year we're staying in the tree houses, and I think it's like £3,000 for a tree house for 4 nights. It is ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's 4 bedrooms.
Oh, Centre Parks. It's so ridiculous and it's so busy. Like, people just pay it.
And it's rubbish.
They just don't update it, do they?
No.
At all.
But when we talked to the family about maybe doing something different, they were all up in arms. So we're not. We're going to carry on doing the same thing.
Yeah, because it's so convenient. It's all on one site.
And it's 45 minutes away.
Yeah, and trying to find somewhere that's all in one place where you're all together, where you don't go off site, which is probably one reason why I like cruises. Like, you're always all together. But as I'm reeling these holidays off, I am very aware that there are lots of people that can't do it, that are listening. And I'm not complacent about that at all.
No. And also, you don't pay for them all, it's fair to say. So I pay for a couple of them. Your mum and dad pay for
at least one a year.
Yeah. So the extra ones are the ones that you've paid for.
Yeah.
So you're not just reliant on sort of parents. And it is lovely that you've ended up with 2 parents-in-laws that pay for family holidays. Most people don't get that at all. It's great. I didn't get that. Most listeners won't be getting that.
We're in an arrogant position now where we turn some down.
And complain about Centre Parks.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's this campaign at the moment trying to get us to go skiing, but we're avidly against it and actively trying to book another holiday during that period.
No, do you not notice that my condition was when Molly said we have the kids for a week and I said, are you coming skiing?
Yeah, and, and we both looked at each other and went, that's not been mentioned for a while.
So the point of this was that why do you go on as many holidays as that? Just from a personal and family point of view, what motivates you to go on holidays that much?
I think I probably don't feel like that right now, but maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it all was getting quite a lot. And I was probably escaping. It felt like there was always a holiday within touching distance. And I can't remember if you said it to me or someone said it to me. It said, do you think you're trying to escape something?
I think I remember asking you.
Yeah, I think it was you. And I probably said no at the time and thought, actually. But what it allows me to do is go full speed for a period of time. And I'm sure there's people out there that can go full speed for the full year, but it just, my head doesn't work like that.
It breaks you, doesn't it? I can tell when you need holiday
I need a deadline.
after about 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah. And I'm pretty good at making money during that period. Like, we've just been through a time where, as always happens, where instructions were fairly hard to come by. So I have to step back in. I don't have to, but I feel like I want to protect us and protect our lifestyle. And so I go back in and just go full speed on getting variation and instructions. And I can do it quite simply. I think I got 3 last week and 1 this week and 2 in the pipeline that I'll pick up quite quickly. And it just puts a bit of fuel back into the company.
And that also really pays for the holidays.
Well, that's what's in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I'm buying a new house. I've got school fees. And my what's important to me has changed as well, where now I'm not that bothered about having this huge house. And we're buying quite a good house. But it's not like a huge house. I have no ambition then to now go and get another house after it.
No. Well, given that you're walking into 3, 4, 5 million pound houses every day, that's not your aspiration, is it?
No, it doesn't. All I'm thinking about is, God, that lawn's going to take a while to cut. Or there's a lot of work to do, isn't there? So I genuinely have no ambition. So if we sold AJ now, let's say someone came in and offered us 3 million. If you're listening, you can do that. We will accept. And I had let's say, without tax, 1.5 million to play with. I wouldn't go and buy a house.
No.
It just doesn't particularly interest me.
You probably invest to pay for the holidays.
I would invest and then just go on holiday. So what's important to me is lots of holidays and time with the family. I'm not interested in watches at all or anything like that. I bought
You've got
one
they
watch
never wear.
no, I have. Yeah, it might. I mean, it'll come out on the cruise because sometimes it's nice to wear, but I very rarely wear it. So holidays and the kids' school fees, and to make sure I save money every month. Those are the 3 things really that if I do, I'm pretty content.
You don't even really go out for meals or anything, do you? You haven't got like an extravagant lifestyle
No, not at
other
all.
than the holidays. The holidays is your extravagance.
Yeah, and they're quite expensive holidays, aren't they? So when I say only those 3 things, they are all quite expensive. But I don't waste any money at all.
No, you don't. I go out for a lot more eating out than you do.
Yeah, and what's nice is now I know those 3 things are the important things. I sort of know how much it costs, and I know how much we need to earn, and it helps.
Yeah, it's kind of on tick over now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like we talk about the CEO dashboard. I couldn't work or live blindly. You know, I measure everything. I measure my weight. I've got a spreadsheet of how much money I've got, how much our properties are worth, how much I invest, how much that makes or loses, thanks to Mr. Trump. So I measure everything. I like to always feel like I'm moving forward. Otherwise, I get a bit panicky. So I've got a cash flow forecast. It's always open on my Mac. I don't often look at it. I'll look at it if we have quite a few offers accepted. I'll look at it because it looks good.
So when it goes to red, you don't look.
But yeah, it doesn't go to red. But if there's a time I look at it and go, that's a bit too close for comfort, I'll go back in and make sure I do stuff.
Okay, by which you mean
to protect it,
move the business forward in some way,
Yeah.
whether it's valuations, instructions, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're saying is that going on holiday keeps you fresh and interested and motivated to earn. If you know you've got a big
Definitely
holiday coming
motivated
up,
to earn. Yeah,
yeah, keeps your wife happy
very happy. Yeah,
and your family happy.
she's been messaging me all morning about. So we've got a Disney World trip in October, and last night we booked one for March, and she's wondering why I'm not excited about the March trip.
I can see that.
Yeah, but
No,
once
my
we get
Molly.
over these 8 holidays in between that March trip, I'll start thinking about it.
So Molly knows that the downside of you having Ashdown Jones is that you're going to have to, you really throw yourself into work. You quite often come in early, might leave late, and then you go home and do run, gym, whatever. So you're not together that much of the day, are you? When all's told, you might go and watch
No.
a football match, so you haven't really got that much quality time. You
Yeah.
have at weekends,
Yeah, you got to be careful you don't just coexist.
no, but the holidays are the payback for that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a podcast with Molly on about 4, 5, 6 podcasts ago. So I think we talk about that during that
Right.
podcast. But yeah, it's a balance,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think what people would like to know is how do you get to that point? So how do you get to the point of being able to have enough money to go on holiday, and how do you get to the point of make sure the business doesn't collapse while you're away, and to harness just the good things about going on holiday so much and not the bad things?
It was, well, it sounds a bit obvious, but it was very hard work in the first 3, 4, 5 years with no like idea of that was what I would have gone on so many holidays or even wanted that. I mean, I've always been on lots of holidays throughout my life. When I
You've
was
always
young,
gone
I was quite
cruises, haven't
fortunate.
you?
We did 5, 6 holidays every year.
Yeah.
So it was always a part of what happens. Like you do what your parents do, don't you? You
Yeah,
live
and I
how
suppose
your parents live.
if you hadn't have had a high paying job / business, then you might have had to take a step back in terms of lifestyle and had a worse lifestyle than you did as a kid.
Yeah. Well, I'd have just badgered them for my holidays, I think. But I have no questions in my mind about whether I earned it or deserved it. Because it's been hard work and is hard work.
And you don't need to justify it anyway. do
No,
you?
no, but
But the other thing I think to point out is that as co-directors, as business partners, if I wasn't related to you, I wonder if your other business partner might feel resentful, because that would change the game, I think, a bit. That person would have to take more holidays to try and even it up, or that person would just be resentful of you.
yeah, and
Or you'd have to take less.
Yeah, and I am aware of that. So I always I'm always wary to leave the company in a good position when I go. And I will often still do work when I'm away. I mean, not loads of work. Like I might write a direct mail piece, or which I've done quite a few times, or I might do calls and emails. I do that. But I'm conscious to make sure that I don't leave you a long list of things or leave lots of gaps. And you were away sort of like the whole of March, weren't you? Mm-hmm. And it was quite tough.
We both said we don't like working without the other person there.
No, so I am conscious of that. But yeah, I just try and prepare for it as best as I can. And I set myself many targets. So we go on holiday in 3 weeks. I said this morning, if I can produce sort of away from the main company 5 instructions during that time, then I've given it quite a good injection of blood leaving it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the other thing to point out as well is that not only have you earned the right in terms of the income that the business now produces, you've also earned the right in terms of how the business is run, that it can run without you for weeks, if not months.
Yeah, it could.
I think we could both step away for at least 6 months. And yes, there would be challenges in that time. Yes, staff would leave and we'd have to, or somebody else would have to recruit on our behalf. And it might take a dip in income, but not much. I think it would run almost as it does now. When you go in and inject the cash, that's bonus cash. It's above target. It's not what the business can do anyway, pretty much without us.
Yeah. It's hard to say exactly what it is because the huge fees of 100,000 plus are usually on me. Mm-hmm. Not saying others couldn't do it. It's just I like to go to those. Mm. So,
well, it secures them. Then it's too much of a risk otherwise.
Yeah, so it's probably between 20 and 30% of the turnover it starts from me. I would say.
Yeah, but if you step back from the business, I'm not saying go away from all communication, but if you step back from the business even more than you have done, and you only came back for those, I think that would be a worthy use of your time. So I think that's absolutely possible.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's taken a lot of work, hasn't it, setting it up as it is.
Yeah.
It would run the majority of the time pretty smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a choice that we made early doors about how the company was, where the company was going to be positioned in terms of, market position, because you had another business. The direction we went was higher end homes and high fee. That leads to the need for less staff and less viewings and less offers and
not
less
high street
paperwork
office.
So all that sort of was probably accidental in terms of the result it's given in how easy it is to, or not easy, but how simple it is to run with the team we've got and how little we've got to step in. Because it would need probably double the team if we went a different direction. And
you did find out last week that we'd lost a big instruction because we wouldn't do direct viewings. That was one of the reasons, wasn't it?
Yeah, the reason given, but yeah, I don't.
Probably not the actual reason,
yeah.
but it's a good point to think about, isn't it? That if you're held over a barrel and they say you've got to do direct viewings, I'm talking about the listeners, not you, but you've got to make a big decision then, because once you do one direct viewings, you have to do lots of direct viewings.
Yeah.
It's not really one-off. You've had one-off ever where you've agreed to that, and it was a £10 million house.
Yeah, and I was utterly crap at it.
Well, we all know that.
Yeah, I am awful at viewings.
The other thing to think about as well is we've got some lovely clients who charge 2% in their agency, and they're getting it because the owners are going out. They've got a very small team, but they want to retire abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they'll struggle to get a valuer to be able to regularly achieve 2%, enough of the time where the losses don't make it, a net loss, and find that person, recruit, retain from abroad. Whereas at 1.5%, we've got the system down pat.
Yeah, it depends on what your competitors charge as well, doesn't it? I don't think you can be double your competitors if the owner's not going out.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
In terms of a consistent lead conversion,
It just wouldn't be worth the ones you lost.
Yeah, I think that would be the crossover. So Tom does get a few at 2%, but they're usually ones that are either a bit further away from us, where there is no competition, would be the only ones there, or it's homes that he doesn't particularly desperately want, and therefore he'll get it that way. But 1.5% seems pretty comfortable.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yes, it feels much safer, isn't it?
Yeah, so that, and others seem to have put their fees up as well. I've heard others going up to sort of 1.25. We heard one this morning.
Yeah. Which at a couple of million is quite high for our particular competitor.
Yeah, I went to one the other day where I said, "Oh, we will be more expensive at 1.5," and he sort of, and he said, "Oh no, it's pretty similar." And I thought, little.
You've lost your line.
Yeah, I know. And I went to one in Coniston recently, and I said, he said, "What's your fee?" I said, 1.5 plus VAT. I usually say 2, but because I felt like we'd lost a bit of momentum, I just wanted to make sure we got all that back. And he said, "Oh, that is reasonable." I thought,
Oh no.
And the last thing I want to be called is reasonable.
You're not even reasonable as a person, are you?
No.
So let's just wrap up then and conclude. How holidays help me build a biz? What's kind of the top 3 things?
Top 3 things. It gives me headspace and clarity. It gives me motivation to come back and earn because I want more experiences like that. It does also, on the negative, give me lingering doubts of what if you lose this lifestyle. But I guess you could argue that that's a plus or a negative.
Yeah, and you can't lose what you've already done.
No.
But they're all in the bank, aren't they?
Yeah, but you get used to, my wife gets used to a certain...
Well, when I've seen
turning a certain way on
Rosie,
the flight.
Noah and Caspian just walking through an airport like they own it. And I just know they've been on holiday a lot of times.
Yeah, they have. We showed... Molly was showing Rosie, my 7-year-old, a picture of a cruise last night, and Moll said, "Oh yeah, that's where we're going in a couple of weeks." And she went, "Oh, I like that ship." I thought, gee, you've been on too many.
We'll leave it there. Let us know about your holidays and whether you would aspire to Phil's lifestyle or think of nothing worse.
Yeah, I think whether it's holidays or whatever it is, it's important to have something that you work for, and there's no judgment on what that thing is. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Andy Sanderson, a few weeks ago, and he, like us, loves Orlando, and that's what he works for. He goes there quite a lot with his family, and they do all sorts, and they go to a lot of basketball matches, which I've never done. Not sure I'll get more there in Orlando Magic.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, that's what he likes to do, and I love seeing pictures of his family there, because I know Andy quite well, and I know how hard he works, and that's he deserves things like that. So make sure you have something that you get excited for, and your family gets excited for, and you can, and when you're there, you think it actually was worth it, all that pain and investment, and sometimes you've got to invest money in order to learn things to create income. So if you sat there thinking, "Oh well, I've got no valuations in the diary, or I've got no instructions, or it's all right for you because you can do this. Most people can't do. Most people can't do any more than you can do. It's just how much you want to give, how much you want to spend of you and your income to create that, and the outcome of what you have, whether it's number of holidays, whether it's car, whether it's house, is a direct reflection on what you're willing to give.
I completely agree. And you're a long time dead. I've got till the summer of 69, 116,000 days left. You actually work for over half your life. If you work for, I started when I was 12, and so I've worked for.
I was 11.
40.
I wasn't really. But.
45 years. You know, my life expectancy, although they don't know what I know, is about 90. So I already have worked for half my life. You know, what's life for? Life is for doing the things that you really want to do, and the work enables that. The work isn't that.
No, it's really important that work, I think, enables that. Yeah, but it still is a strange concept, isn't it? Of how much. Like we weren't born on this planet to work, were we? No.
In fact, our predecessors, as in our ancestors from 500, 600 years ago, worked actually very little. There's this kind of myth that they worked 12, 14-hour days. They didn't do that until the Industrial Revolution. So farmers actually had a little plot, and they might have worked for 4 or 5 hours, and that was it. Then done.
Yeah.
So this idea of working 9 till 5, or as lots of people do, 8 till 6, 8 till 8, working in the evenings at weekend, that's new. It's probably only the last 50 years people have done that. In fact, it's probably since the advent of laptops.
Do you think the future is 4-day week?
That's a good question. There's going to be a lot of industries that are going to be worried about their futures with AI. So how are they going to transition? What's that work going to look like? There's going to be less work around for people. So it's difficult to tell. In the 70s, we had a 4-day or 3-day work week because there wasn't enough work. So people would share work. You got 3/5 of your job.
Right.
So things are different, aren't they now?
Yeah, there seems to be, we've spoken about this before, like not a trend, but a badge of honour to say how long you work or how busy you are.
And that you do the viewings and you do the photo shoots.
And to me, that's a badge of embarrassment.
Failure.
I would much prefer being in Abu Dhabi with my wife shoving a camera in my face with her new vlog conquest she's doing, saying, "Oh, what's that food like?" Then doing a viewing.
Me too.
I mean, they're both pretty bad, but
they're not. Keeping your wife happy. When you see that smile on little Molly's face, that's all you want to create every time.
Yeah, if you do want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, I say it's hers. She tells me off for not engaging enough. It's Trips with the Joneses on YouTube. I'd just been on a stag do, and my good friend Marcus, who was a stag, said, "Oh, I watched your vlog the other day," which was the first embarrassing step. But he said, "I really liked the dynamic between you and Molly, where Molly was really good on camera and you were just a bit
awkward."
Yeah. I was like, I'm not awkward on camera at all. I'm on camera all the time. I didn't want to be. I was on holiday. I didn't want a camera in my face all the time. So I think next time I'm going to have to perform a bit more so people don't think I'm awkward on camera. She puts the camera down sometimes. She's like, "You need to be a bit funnier." Like, what the hell do you mean?
So right into the isphiljonesfunny.com campaign.
Monkey. So yeah, there you go. And she likes to react to like food that she gets. So let's say she gets a burger, and I take a bite, and I'll wait till I finish my mouth and be like, "Yeah, it's all right," or "It's good," or she'll take a bite before she even tastes it. She'll be like, like nodding her head all over the spot. What are you doing?
Go and watch Trips with the Joneses on YouTube, and we'll wrap this episode up right now before it degenerates any further. See you on the next one. Bye.